And welcome to a New Year's Eve edition of the YSN Power Hour. DJ Oakley here. We got a full slate. Look at this. All the boxes filled up. We are ready to go. 2020 out the door. Here comes 2021. Boys, Happy New Year to all of you. How are we?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's a good start to the show. It is National Day, but we're going a little bit different today. There's a lot of national days to choose from, but I gotta say, being that it is the Power Hour, this is perfect for us. It is the Universal Hour of Peace. And what that means is, Jeff, we're going to ask you to calm your ass down today because you got real riled up yesterday about literally everything.
Well, it's Quinn's fault, not mine.
Okay.
That's just because he's a dumbass.
I'm not going to blame me. I'm going to blame Quinn on that all day. So,
Billy, we gotta throw some shade on you too because you get him fired up more than anybody.
Relax about Baker Mayfield, dude. Top 5 quarterback.
Top 5 quarterback?
Top 5.
Well, there goes the Universal Hour piece because there's everybody on this panel will probably disagree with you. So a little bit different today. Typically, we'll talk about all the things in sports, being that it was pretty dry. I mean, we had a handful of games last night. We're not going to break those down. If you want it, you can go to ysnlive.com and catch all the action there. Oh, look who decides to show up. Hey, hi, Quinn.
Wow.
Hi, everybody but Jeff.
Wow.
Hi, Quinn.
Right.
New year, new you, huh? Still showing up at 3:05.
And still living in his mom and dad's basement.
All right. So here's here's what we're gonna do. And he's got the headband on too, by the way. He wanted me to point that out. So if anybody's got any headband compliments for Cobra Kai down there, we're good to go.
Captain America over there.
Well, he's on the USA drinking team. Did you see his shirt?
Oh, God.
He's super proud of it.
Got picked. That's a great pick. Thank you, USA.
Great pick. I'm just an idiot.
I'm looking forward to do a basketball game with somebody on Saturday. Billy is going to be sick. So if anyone wants to come to a basketball game, LeBron girls and boys. So come on.
It's not a new year yet, says Coach Seidel. I get it. And trust me, we at YSN not looking to rush 2020 out. Overall, it's been a pretty good year here. Not embarrassed to say so. And I don't feel guilty about it because reality is we gave back as much as we got. So I feel good about 2021 coming in. But with that said, guys, what we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit of the best of 2020. I know they did it on Poe's show, but we've got a different interpretation here on our show. And we're going to count down from 10 to 1. And we want to hear from you. We want to say one of our questions of the day is, what is your favorite sports moment of 2020? We want to hear from you, so make sure you chime in on the comments, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or on ysnlive.com. We want to be able to hear from you. So please chime in. We know you will. But leading the list, gentlemen, 1,000-point scorers in basketball aplenty. And I lean on our two basketball coaches that we have on the staff here, EB and Q. Guys, is the 1,000-point threshold, I mean, and EB, you got the whole list of it. We went over it before the show. Is the 1,000-point threshold, do you have to have that in order to be considered elite in this day and age?
No. I mean, is it a good or a great accomplishment to have? Yeah, but you don't need it. I mean, if you look at some of these schools, especially the bigger schools, it's very rare that you find 1,000-point score. And I'm not picking on the smaller schools because you still get some pretty damn good athletes coming through those places. It's just one of those things. Some of the bigger schools, a lot of times, I look at Salem or Poland or Canfield, Howland, Warren Harding. A lot of times you're not getting the opportunity to start until you're a junior or senior. So you don't get those opportunities to play as many games. That doesn't mean you're not an elite player, because I can think of multiple players that have come through that only started for 1 or 2 years that were beyond elite. I mean, I think you could take a look at a team like West Branch, and you don't always see a 4-year starter that ends up being elite. Or, you could go up to Canfield or Poland. It seems like they always replenish. So you don't need to be 1,000-point scorer. I just think it's a good accomplishment to have. It's a personal goal that you can kind of shoot for, but it also includes a lot of team success. I think as someone like Nay Fryer, who she didn't necessarily have the best team, but she scored 1,000 points, and really, if you look at it, she scored 500 points last year. That's averaging 25 points a game. That's tough. And if you watch a lot of her games, one, she didn't play an easy schedule. Two, she was getting double and triple teamed a lot. And we went through a couple others. Drake Golden. It was awesome because I was fortunate enough to be there. DJ, you were there. Seeing Drake do it, I was live there to watch Nay do it. And it's great because those are a couple of our players. Another one, Kyla Jamison, I was there for that. Then you throw in, I don't know if she was 2020 or 2019, but Danny Vuletich, she was right around there.
Lamparty,
Lamparty,
a ton. Jackie Grisdale. I'm trying to think of the
Krista Perry just cracked it.
Carson Ryan.
Carson Ryan. Krista Perry just cracked it. Like Ty said, the Simons kid from Austintown just cracked it, and that was just in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I think it's even more special to do it this December because there's been so much in flux. You don't know what games you're going to have, and Austintown didn't start on time. Krista Perry lost a couple games. Really, another person who would have cracked it, but she just played her second game yesterday, would have been Molly Howard. So she'll be cracking it probably. She'll be the first one to do it in 2021. So I think she's 30 points away, 30, 35 points away. So it's from a basketball standpoint, a lot of those 1,000-point scorers, there's been a lot of team success too. Look at the team that Jackie Grisdale's been on. She's been to state. She's Poland is naturally now. You got to go through Poland to win your district. Kyla, everyone's banking on Kyla. I can tell you what the game plan against Salem is 9 times out of 10. It's pack it in against Kyla.
Stop 42.
I mean, same thing. Like I said, I mentioned it about Nay. It was, double or triple team Nay. Hell, South Range did it to her last year, and she still dropped 25 points. And that same game, you could have had 2,000-point scores in the same game if it really would have worked out that way.
Which would have been cool. I've never seen or heard anything like that before. But unfortunately, again, that's not the way it worked out.
And good for Lamparty because she got to do it at home, which ultimately that's always a cool thing. Drake is going to go down as the all-time leading scorer in Crestview history, and then he was the quickest person 1,000 points in Crestview's history alone. And you look at some of the players that they've had come through. You've had his name's on the wall now next to someone like a Brad Gassina, which Brad Gassina is pretty much the best there ever was, best there is, and best there ever will be to come from Crestview High School. And I'm a little biased towards that, but that's my opinion. So. Quinn, I don't know. Am I missing any 1,000-point scores?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, no.
So basically,
there's some coming up too.
So what we're looking at, instead of saying that the bar is being 1,000-point scorer, it's a feather in your cap. And here at YSN, especially here in the area, we have seen a lot of feathers go in the cap in 2020, and we'll see another one early in 2021. So very cool to see, and that starts our kind of kicks off what we're trying to do here with a top 10 list here in 2020. Any guesses for number 9? How about the Class B season, the 2020 Class B season? Here's why it's number 9 for us, is because when everybody else packed it in and said we're not going to do anything because of Corona, it was the leadership, the executive decision of the Class B to say we're going to have a season. Now it was condensed, and I use air quotes for that because it was condensed in the time that it was going to be played. However, it was packed like sardines, and we had all kinds of action on the network for Class B, both the 14 through 18-year-olds, and I think it was fantastic. With that, Mac, you were there for the entire thing. Why do you think the Class B season was so important to have here in the area?
Well, for one, it was the 50th year for Bobsine Park. Or for the Class B season. So I think it was important to do that as well, to have and to celebrate that. And it's important because it's a destination spot for kids to get showcased. I mean, just like basketball, how AAU is a important factor. It's the same thing with our Class B league. I mean, at any given time down in Class B, you're going to have college coaches kind of hanging around on a normal year. And it's a great opportunity for kids to get looked at for the next level. Not that high school isn't, but it's a lot of good players come together and they compete against each other. So it's kind of a hub for college players to get an opportunity to watch more than one player at the same time. So, it's a hidden gem for the Valley too. I mean, it really is. A lot of people, even people who don't have kids or family members that play in the park, they pay attention to what's going on there at our Class B at Bobsine Park, 25 season. Sorry.
That's right. You'll catch it later. Don't worry. But I mean, when you look at it, it was important for this area because we were in kind of a limbo of normalcy that everybody wanted it back. Everybody wanted sports back. It was apparent that spring sports was not going to happen through high schools. And here comes the same identity, the same entity, I should say, that has been doing it for 25 years at Bobsine Park in Struthers, Ohio, and they led the march. And people like Kate Kelly, Scott Rourke, and our own Steve Leslie, Bob Beam, you talk about it, you can go up and down, Ronnie Bovo, and talk about the great people that made just a little piece of normalcy come back. And that was important because I think it allowed athletic directors, it allowed schools to realize that, hey, we can do this, but we've got to set precedents, and they did a great job. Fans were allowed to come and be there, but they had to be spaced out. They had to be, sitting in families as opposed to going mingling here and there. And, Scene Park did a great job, and Kate deserves a standing ovation for what she did and kind of putting everything together, and Scott in the same sentence, in the same breath. But
and Beam is a huge part of that.
Absolutely.
He's the undercover guy. Yeah, he's always doing something for that park. So he deserves a ton of credit for a lot of things that he does that goes unnoticed.
And to play a full season, in that condensed time frame was fantastic.
Basically, it's so weird. We played 50 games. On a normal year, we play 60. So, we didn't lose much. So.
And that included rain delays as well. That wasn't even COVID related. So very cool. And that takes us to that's our number 9, and that takes us to number 8, which I think is very important. Anthony Hartwig, a big proponent for this one, and I got to get behind him. It isn't every year that we see one team win the volleyball district. In 2020, we saw 2 teams, Crestview and Mineral Ridge, winning the district in volleyball. Very special. Crestview, a traditional powerhouse in volleyball. Coach Auer does a phenomenal job with the team over there. And given 2020, and obviously a lot of this is going to have to do with COVID. That was the number one story everywhere in 2020, and it was no different here. But you look at this and you realize that, some good things can come out of bad situations, and this was just one of them. So, again, a tip of the cap and a nod to Mineral Ridge and Crestview doing the nearly impossible of having 2 teams from the area become district champions. So that is our number 8. Number 7 is one we can all get behind, and we can kind of – is Paul still here, or is that just an empty box? I can't figure it out. Is he here?
Hello, Paul.
Someone would have called him. I think
we're
someone
booting
did call him. But
we're booting him. All right, so number 7 is going to be talk shows introduced on YSN. This was something that we had kind of up our sleeves for a while, but Corona forced our hand. So it was actually before Corona, believe it or not. But in February, we announced that Ron Potesta was going to start his own show here called Running Point on YSN. It was going to begin March 3rd. I believe. And I'm not going to say that there is a coincidence or not, but right after that, Corona hit. So Ron leaves traditional radio, comes over to us on the stream, and all of a sudden Corona goes nuts. For 6 months, Ron tap danced for us alongside. We had John Batcho doing Breaking Batch 3 days a week or so, and really giving people something to watch while they were on quarantine or while they were working from home and things of that nature. So it was really cool to see how things started and how it's progressed is why we're sitting here right now, guys. I mean, the Power Hour doesn't exist if it's not for, the shows like Potesta and like John Batcho. So when you look at where we're at, I think it's been a win-win for us. I think that it gives us not only something to do every day, but it gives us a reason to sit down and hang out from 3 to 4 and talk about sports, which for a lot of these people that are watching, love it because it's not always talking about the Buffalo Bills or even the Cleveland Browns or the Steelers or whoever. We're talking about their kids in their community. We're talking about their coaches in their community. And sometimes, in the case of Coach Seidel, they pop on and they talk with us. So what's your favorite part of the talk shows being on the network and why this is so important to be on the list? We'll look at you, Ty.
I mean, it not only gives, the casual viewer that extra platform too. I mean, like you get to watch your kids too on the stream, right? And these fans of these communities get to watch them. But now it's like almost to say it in ESPN style where it's like there's shows outside of the actual game where, we're talking and we're hyping your kids up, and it shows like how much us as a YSN community care about these kids and the way that, these kids are performing. And, we give them that spotlight. And this is just an additional platform for them to really shine on and, for everyone to get the eyes on the kids and the communities and the schools. And, I think it's been an absolutely, huge success. And it's also very unique because then you get these people from these different communities that you get to interact with too on the show. And then when you go to the communities in these games, you get to meet all these different people and see how their communities are. And I think that's absolutely been one of the coolest parts too, especially this year for me towards the end. I mean, going to all these different schools that I've never been to. I was normally just a Fitch guy, but now I'm out at Jackson Milton, I'm out at Mineral Ridge, I'm out at Sebring, I'm out at all these different places and getting to interact with the people from
Valley Christian.
Yeah, all these people from these different places, and it's really cool that you get to meet these people from these communities, and these kids have an additional spotlight added to them where we're hyping them up 5 days a week from 3 to 4.
McNuggies, you've been a part of this. You had your own podcast there for a little bit, but you fit right in right here on the Power Hour. What's it been like for you, and kind of why has it been so important here in 2020? Not only give you something to do, but to kind of get your name out there.
I mean, I just piggybacking off of Ty, it's great for just the local kids to have an extra platform to shine on outside of, just streaming their games. It's almost like we're kind of, I think you said it before, DJ, a little bit of a mix between like Barstool Sports and ESPN. We're promoting the local kids, the local communities, and not just talking about the college level with like Ohio State, the Alabamas, and the Clemsons, and then at professional with Buffalo, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh. We're promoting the local schools that we cover all the time. And for me personally, it's just been great being on here because I'm going to be honest. Again, I had nothing to do, and I really wasn't talking with my friends or anybody. I was kind of isolated, and I was playing games all day. And now I'm on here talking with the Power Hour 3 to 4 every time I can now. Luckily, I'm playing basketball now, so sometimes I'm not able to be on here. But just during the summer, during the lockdown and everything, it was something to do, and it turned into something a lot bigger than I thought it could ever be.
Love it. All right. And Billy says we banned piggybacking. Or piggybacking, actually.
Yeah, whatever the hell piggybacking
yeah,
is.
you've been hanging around Betos way too long, dude.
Easy.
I truly hate how my phone types. Like it just corrects everything.
Well, I feel like Betos piggybacks more than any of the rest of us, for sure.
I'm going to take that cigar back off your desk, and that is mine for the night. So
okay, you can take whatever you want, big boy. Just as long as you leave Peggy alone for 2021. She said she's tired of it.
Yeah, she's tired of breaking your bolts.
Paul, aren't you sick? Dude, like go home, Paul. Like get off.
He is
Go
wrong.
home. I know. I got it.
I am.
That's the only tip Jeff ever left anyone.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Props to
What do
you
you mean?
for that one. I'll give you props for that one. That was a good one.
That was. I'm not even gonna make something up.
Let's go to number 6. I think this one should be a lot higher because of what it did. It transformed basically the way people consume football in the Valley. The introduction of the audible call. With this, I want to lean on Jeff a little bit and Quinn because you guys were there seemingly more than most. Quinn, you were in the gunner's chair a lot this season. What was the audible call like from behind the scenes?
Oh, it was incredible. Getting to just work alongside Ack and seeing all the stuff that he did, seeing what Nick would do on a daily basis, and being able just to see all the different games and stuff like that, and know that it's being spread out there to everybody else that might be watching and stuff like that. It was an absolutely incredible experience, I guess. It was fast paced too. It was a lot faster than I was expecting it to be at first, but it was fun. It was a fun time, and I think it was a great show, honestly.
Love it. For me, it was a pain in the ass to start. I'm not going to lie to you. It was a lot of no sleep to kind of get this ready. The week before the season to make sure this happened. But when it did happen, it was probably the coolest thing that I've been able to sit back and watch. I mean, a lot of us that were out there broadcasting games on a Friday or Saturday night were watching this. We had this as like a second screen experience, and we're watching it, and it's kind of cool whenever they pick your game and you hear yourself, and you can kind of throw in a little bit of, hey, Mike, back at the studio, we want to thank you for all that stuff. And everybody did it, which we didn't tell anybody to do. I think it's one of the coolest things that we've done in sports, other than the actual broadcast of the games, which, of course, is chicken or the egg. But when you look at the way we did it, how we did it, the timing that we did it, it's never been done. I mean, when you watch NFL Red Zone, you can see a touchdown live, and then, a minute and a half later, you'll see it on the Red Zone because they're already on another clip. Guys like Quinn, Eric Oates, who's part of our team now, they were hitting these games live. And the Mikeettes, guys like Anthony Hartwig, Mike, you were back there a few times, being able to knock these out. One weekend we had 160. Was that the number, or is that high?
I think a little high. It was
Okay.
right around there, though.
I mean, that's unbelievable. 160 touchdowns in a weekend was phenomenal, and we brought it all to you, and it was for free. So you could, if you didn't have the $9.99, obviously being in a situation where some people lost their job, you can still watch football. You can have it broadcast by a guy who I think is the number one broadcaster in sports in this area for the last 35 years, Mike Ackelson. When he joined our team and brought Nick with him, I mean, changed the game again. And we're so grateful. We'll be doing it again for basketball starting next week, called the Open Look. But the introduction to the audible call lands in at number 6. With number 5, Jeff, I know I said I'd ask you about it, but being that you're sitting there, and number 5 is the LeBray versus Brookfield thriller on YSN. You and Billy, do you want to just take this one away?
Billy, you want to go first?
You first.
Oh, it's me. That was just awesome. It was my second playoff game ever calling, and it was just a great game, back and forth. Both teams just up and down track meet. The play by Hayden Gibson to jump over. It looked like John Elway at the Super Bowl. You get in the end zone, and then Brookfield stopping them. The very next play, you go for 2 for the win. That game was just unbelievable. There was everything you can ever think of in a game happened in that game. And it was just awesome to call it and to be part of that. To give the kids that is the biggest thing. Is kids were, I hope they watch that for the rest of their life and think about, holy crap, we were part of a game that was 56-55. It was unbelievable to be part of.
So, Billy, real talk, what was it like in the booth with that crazy animal next to you? I know he almost knocked himself out a couple times. Set the stage for the rest of us, maybe some exclusive behind the scenes that maybe the people at home don't know about.
Well, in the booth, it was so it started off like this. Okay, it was a weird night. We get there. Okay, it is super. I mean, it is freezing cold of a game, and the ground's a little bit, a little bit mushy. We're not really so sure if teams are going to be able to move the football, and then we get a game like this, a high scoring affair. So we get there. We have no tripod for our camera. So for the first minute and a half, I'm holding a camera going back and forth, right? And Quinn's on his way to drop off a tripod. And so in the middle of a game, Jeff's holding the camera. I leave. He's calling play-by-play and to go get this tripod and set it up as we're going. And Jeff's still trying to call play-by-play while I'm setting this thing up. So that was the start of it. And then it just got intense in the booth. I mean, Jeff's in three-point stance. He's literally in a three-point stance, basically explaining a play like, you got to run over top of somebody, you got to get into a three-point stance and go. And then he's jumping and hitting his head on the top of the roof. It was, for us, it was just so intense. I really felt, looking back, I think this is a game that we're going to probably remember, at least Jeff and I, and probably the players that played there are going to remember this game for quite a while because of the way the finish was, and the high scoring and the playoff game. But I think we were rewarded by really embracing, La Brea, and they kind of embraced us and took us on a journey and said, hey, let's go. We can go do this together. It was kind of that small town, very similar to like what happened with Romo and Jamie with Springfield. They kind of said, hey, let's go enjoy a ride. We're the underdog, and we were going to try to do the underdog thing. So
what's cool was you guys were the kind of voices of, like you just alluded to, but that was really your buy-in moment at YSN because everybody kind of bought into you and you bought back into YSN. So every week it was you telling Paul, hey, we got LeBray. We got wherever they're going, we got them. So for us back at the studio, I think that was the night that I didn't go anywhere. And it was crazy because everybody had your game on. Like, we all have our games that we're supposed to be watching, and at the end of the night, everybody had your game on, and it was fun to watch. So you guys landed that game onto, obviously, number 5 on the list. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got 4 through 1, including some of the voices that made it happen. So we'll take a break and be back on the Ysn Power Hour in just a moment. Make sure you kick in with our sponsors because they make shows like this possible for you right here on the network.
DEL Lift Rentals and Sales is locally owned and operated with over 30 years experience. We specialize in lifts of all types and sizes, including forklifts, scissor lifts, and boom lifts. We offer low rates and long-term rentals, as well as fast on-time delivery, often free in the local area. We also sell a variety of used equipment. Visit us at werentlifts.com or at 7891 Southern Boulevard in Boardman, or by phone at 330-549-0855.
DEL is your local lift expert.
Fresh limousine. I'm feeling pretty good about myself, like I'm living the dream. Platform shoes, strutting down the street. It's gonna get hot in here, I hope you can handle the heat.
Over the years, you watched us grow, and as we've grown, so has the Myers Family Insurance team.
Thanks to all of you who have trusted our families to help you with your Medicare needs.
Myers Family Insurance looks forward to helping you now for years to come. So call our family today and remind them how cute we are.
Myers Family Insurance continues to be the area's resource for all your Medicare and retirement needs. Call today, 330-286-3044.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. A breaking news from the people who don't really care on Facebook. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you'll know that I posted a video of Jeff singing Creed Arms Wide Open earlier, which Jeff is extremely proud of.
Yes.
Your buddy Mark Zuckerberg just banned it because it is a copyright infringement.
Scumbag, that guy is. Love Creed. I get it.
Creed sucks.
They do.
They
They do a ton.
Anybody else think Creed stinks on this panel? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3. McNuggies, you know who Creed is. You don't know
I'm
who.
just saying Creed sucks to make you mad at this point.
Yeah, you don't know who it is, man.
McNuggies, you get a new mic.
Yes, I do.
See? I knew there was something different. All right, we are through 10 through 5. We're on to 4 through 1 here on the look back at the top moments of 2020 at YSN and in the sports world here locally. This one, well, guys, I just got to say this one's for me. I'm taking one for me. East Palestine getting its first win in 700 days. And, oh, man, did it feel good. Opted out of the playoffs this year. East Palestine, another tough season under the tutelage of Tony Foster. But we're able to go and find one team that we're able to take them on, and they end up winning by 1 point. And that's all it took to break the streak. East Palestine, everybody picked against them. Even that game, I think people picked against them. And I mean, I know it's not a great story. I know it doesn't give you the warm and fuzzies, but it does for me because those kids work so hard. And here locally, I know Coach Foster works so hard, and sometimes you just need a win. And they got it. Proud of them, and they make number 4 here on our list of top moments of 2020. Again, if you have moments we're missing, make sure they're in here in the comments section. We're down to our 3rd best moment of 2020, and that to me and to some of us is the YSN Power Play. $30,000 raised for area schools and YSN schools. Paul, you were a big part of that. Talk to me about what that means to you, and just from the education of the gruel and the grind of the season, to be able to give $30,000 back to schools like South Range and the 52 other schools we have. That's got to be a warm and fuzzy moment for you.
Yeah, I mean, just the way this season was starting off with not having a lot of fans in the stands and, having to watch the games on TV, it was a great opportunity for us to do something to give back to them. Because, if you can't put them in the stands, then let's do something for them to get them, something back to the schools. Because that's football season, everybody knows it. Everybody knows football season is the lifeblood of high school athletics around here. So, it was going to take a big hit, and by being able to do our power play this year, it was a good opportunity for us to give back to those schools and say, hey, listen, it's going to be, $9.99 for a game, excuse me, but then you can watch, the game on there, and a portion of that money goes right back to your school. So you're not only supporting your school, but you're getting to watch your teams. So it was something that was a really good thing for our company to do. And just kind of set the precedent of, hey, we're not just here to take advantage of these kids and use them for our own profit. We're there to give back to those kids too.
No, I'm a big. This came up, and we got. There's a term that we use here locally in the YSN HQ about how it went for us each and every week, but we'll step aside and say that it was all worth it in the end to be able to write these checks out and get them out. Hopefully, we got 5 more that we need to. No. 3 more that need to go out officially, and until it's all kind of taken care of. But it was a good moment. And I think athletic directors and fans really opened up the doors for us, and we're very thankful. I had one gentleman that literally just got off the phone with today, said, man, you charged us $9.99. You could have charged us $99. We would have watched it. Anything to watch our kids in an era where we couldn't. Nothing was promised. So, not that we would ever charge $99 a game, but, from financials, that sounds pretty cool if people bought into that. The power play for you, Billy, you watched it every Friday night, even when you were working, not for us, but for Max Baseball Academy, you were buying the games, and everybody was kind of like, what is this? What's going on here?
Yeah, so I was working Friday night, so what I would do is there's a TV down there, so I would buy it and connect it to the TV, whether through my laptop or other devices, and my parents got to watch games, and I would ask them every week, hey, what game do you guys want to watch? And we would just cycle through it at some point. So it was pretty cool. We had the audible call on at first when we first started. When I first started, I couldn't make doing some of the games and just started cycling through, and my parents loved it, and they always offered to like, hey, we'll chip in. I'm like, listen, it's so cheap. It's $10. Like, it's simple, so not a big deal. And it was awesome. My parents loved it. And then they started buying it on their own time. So to watch Saturday games.
It was one of the coolest things. It kind of set the foundation for what we're doing in the future as well. We don't know what the future holds as far as video for football, but you can I promise you one thing: we'll be there, whether it's audio or video. We will be there. Kind of foreshadowing into our number one, but let's get to number two first. One of the coolest things that I saw, this gentleman, a neighbor of mine here in East Palestine, but set the world on fire this year at Wellsville when Dan McKinstry becomes the all-time winningest coach in Ohio volleyball history. I think the magic number was like 730. I can't remember off the top of my head. I do apologize. I'm not good with that kind of stuff. But I do know that he became...
Ty, what's the answer?
Oh.
That one I don't know.
Oh, now he doesn't know it.
I doesn't know. It's just kind of funny how he all of a sudden doesn't know shit.
No, there's nobody feeding him the answers anymore. No, Ty, anybody that saw that, I've had at least 30 messages say Ty is a robot. So that's got to make you feel good, at least a little bit, to think that somebody thinks you're superhuman when it comes to your brain. So back to Coach McKinstry. Guys, this is something that every coach not necessarily dreams of, but, you want to be the best when you start, especially in sports. You're uber competitive. And for a local guy to be the all-time winningest coach in Ohio in one sport at the high school level, I mean, what do you think that means to not only Coach McKinstry, but to the area? I mean, let's look into a couple of our coaches. EB, you want to take this one?
Sure. Consistency. I mean, he's coached, 30-plus years? I think we figured it out one time where me and Hartwig talked about it, or he talked about it, like that's an average of 18 wins a year, which I think there's 20 or 22, 25 volleyball games. That's winning 2/3 of your games all the time. That's pretty incredible. I mean, if you went up to any coach and said, hey, you're going to win, 70% of your games every year, I'm pretty sure a lot of them would be okay with it. It's just a model of consistency. If you look at the, adaptation on his part, because that means 30 years. He started in the 70s or 80s. So that's a lot of different generations. That's a lot of cultural changes. That's changing with the kids. There's so many different variables that go into it. I mean, when he probably started, Title IX probably just passed, and now he has kids who don't even know how to talk to each other, and they text it to each other 3 feet away.
Right.
So, just the things that he's gone through, in his life, and to continue to be successful, I think is awesome. I mean, there's just so many different things, and it's kudos to him, but also he's probably going to say it's all the kids. It's always the kids. He gets kids who work hard, who believe in his system. So I mean, I think it's pretty awesome. I don't care what sport it is. There's so many different things, to be a good human, a great person, and a mentor, and continue to do it for that long. It's a kudos to him for that.
My mom chiming in, also a former neighbor of Dan, because I lived in her house. Dan is a kind man and a great coach. Yes, he is, and he deserves to be ranked higher, except for the fact that this next one, there is no higher. And there's two gentlemen on this panel who we haven't heard from yet, and that's because we're going to hear from them a lot right after this.
Yema coming in motion. Brungart's going to be a reverse play. Back to Brungart, looking for Yema! Touchdown Springfield with 5 seconds remaining! Lucas Yema caught it in the end zone on the reverse. What a play! Springfield takes the lead! Oh my goodness! What a play! The fireworks are going off! Oh my goodness!
Wow, I mean, I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Wow. The pure guts that it takes to go with that play. 11 seconds remaining. I mean, that's just so gutsy.
There it is, the number one moment from sports in 2020 here at YSN. It was Springfield, and it is always going to be known as Boilermaker. Jamie and Romo, you had the call. You were there. For those who haven't, or maybe for the first time are hearing this story, guys, I give the entire show to you for just walking it out. Go ahead. Romo, go ahead.
Okay, so for people who don't know, Jamie and I, we're from Hubbard. Rocking my Hubbard stuff right now. We were given the opportunity to follow Springfield on their playoff run. Once the Hubbard season ended, they lost to Geneva in the playoffs. So we said, why not? Like, we love announcing. We'll take our talents elsewhere. So this is our second game announcing for Springfield regional final against Norwayne. Back and forth game the whole way, just like that LeBray Brookfield game. I mean, both teams, it was a track meet. Both teams were just flying up and down the field. So Norwayne scores to go ahead with just over 30 seconds left. They go for two, they get it, makes it 48-45. So the kickoff happens. We're still following it. Jamie's following it. He was the cameraman. And this was the first time we were on the roof of the press box. We were normally, I apologize. This was our third game doing Springfield. Yep. Because the first two, we were in the press box. This one, we were on top. And couldn't have been a better night. I mean, it was above 60 degrees. Beautiful night. But we still don't know how. Somehow the tripod fell off of the table and everything became disconnected from that standpoint. So if you're watching from home, you're looking at a black screen, and I don't think Jamie noticed at first because he was picking the camera up, but I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, this isn't good. Because from the experience we've had broadcasting games this was our third year doing it, second year for football, third year altogether. You know that with the program that we run to broadcast, to get your camera back on the stream, you have to shut everything down. You have to shut the program and then restart it all back up. But there's 30 seconds left in the game. There's no time to do that. So Jamie, I don't know what he thought of this on the fly. He turns the webcam on the computer, which was facing us, and then he turns it around so he's holding the computer, the laptop, like this. And I'm trying to motion it so you can see the field of play. And then Springfield, we switched to audio for a second, but we get the webcam on. Springfield's driving. They get two quick first downs, one to Clayton Esbeth, one to Clay Medvec. And they're on about the Norwayne 42-yard line. There's about 20-ish seconds left, and we're thinking in our heads, we have Mike Ackelson up there with us, we're thinking, well, if they can just get one more first down here, because they had no timeout. So if they get one first down and get out of bounds, it can possibly put Clay Medvec in range to kick a field goal here, send it to overtime, because as we all know, he's one of the best kickers in the Valley, one of the best we've seen in a while around here. First team All-State this year as a kicker. So Springfield runs the trick play, which we know is Boilermaker. And you could kind of see that the trickery was going on, right when the play started, when there was that first pitch. So I'm just following the play. And once it gets pitched back to Brungard and he throws it, you can hear me kind of get a little bit excited because I see that Lucas Yama is wide open in the end zone. And I want to give credit to Nick Slike because he pitches it back to Brungard. Remember, Springfield has no timeouts. As he pitches it, there's a Norwayne kid coming flying off the edge. Nick picks up this block right after he pitches it. If he doesn't pick that block up and Bo gets tackled, the game might be over right there. But You saw it. Bo completes the pass to Lucas in the end zone. We go crazy. The crowd goes crazy. There's fireworks going off. We're in shock because we had just witnessed like one of the greatest endings to a game that we've seen here in the Valley. Even Mike said it was one of the greatest endings to a game he's ever seen. Springfield moved on to the next round, and we continued the journey right after that.
All right, James, let's go to you. A lot going on, a lot to unpack there, but you were absolutely stunned. You didn't even have words.
I mean, how could I even say anything based on everything that went on? Like the camera going down, and I mean, the play was unbelievable as it was, but just everything that happened before it, I felt like there was this pressure like on my shoulders. I was like, oh my God, all these people are going to kill me. DJ's going to get so many requests for a refund. And I'm glad, it was a combination between me and Brian. Brian, our technical guy, he's been always great for us. He's always stepping up. And I looked down at my phone and he saw his text, said, switch it. I was like, boom, let's do that. Because we already had done it once and I saw that it was going to work. So picked it up, flipped it around like he said. And I mean, that whole play, it was shocking. It really was. Like, it's one of those plays where when you're watching it from the stands, you can kind of see the whole field. You're like, oh, here we go. As soon as the handoff came, and then you had the other pitch. And like Romo said, Yemen was just wide open in the end zone. And really just the whole ride with Springfield, leading up to it, we had Ty, not knowing where Springfield was, and I'm all the way up there at Akron. So had to get the local guys to come in and figure it all out. And then following that, went all the way through the state playoffs. I mean, I still got the program and the media pass in my room. It's one of the greatest moments of my life. It was really such a pleasure, really. I mean, we thank you guys, DJ, Paul, for letting us, cover Springfield. That was really great for us. That was kind of one of the teams we were thinking, like, hey, man, Springfield would be real fun to watch. So we're just very appreciative for that. All the Springfield people have really welcomed us with open arms. I mean, Roma, we did the one girls basketball game at Western Reserve. We're up in the crowd. We had like 3-4 people come over to us. Like, did you do the football too? Like, thank you guys. You're doing a great job. So, I mean, it was really great to follow Springfield. They kind of just accepted us as one of their own.
I love it. I love it. Nobody better for that job. Guys, we're through all 10 of the best moments on YSN this year in 2020. It's time for honorable mentions. Is there anything we left off here that you thought maybe should be on the list, and maybe you want to say how high it should be ranked? Anybody?
Primetime?
YSN Primetime?
Yeah, should have been probably should have been. I'm going to say.
Should have been number one.
All right, here we go. Feeding the AB's ego. No, Primetime should have been number 10. It was just awesome to be part of it when South Branch played Crestview for the last time, and you guys going down to look at that man, that's a beautiful guy right there. Not talking about me, talk about Steve and Mike. Look how happy Steve looks in that picture, though. That's awesome. So yeah, that's my pick.
Can you just wear that head around the rest of the time? Like that's a better look for you, JB.
That helmet in that head does not fit my giant head. To be honest with you, it does not.
It does not fit my giant head.
Shut up, Billy.
Nick likes the player profiles. I'm pretty fond of them myself. I really enjoy them. Here we go. Jeff running the 40-yard dash was an honorable mention sports moment for Carey.
Pretty much anything Betos did should be.
Maybe we should have a top 10 Betos list for Monday.
The honorable mentions have to be the stories after audible call from Jeff Betos.
Oh,
beautiful stories.
That's exclusive content. That's pay-per-view right there. That's
a super $9.99 to listen.
That's NC-17 stuff because Jeff gets really into his beanbags.
Right off the cliff.
Yeah. Guy, Mike, I mean, you've seen a lot of sports this year. Is there anything we left off the list for you?
Nope. I think everything, the top 10 was perfect.
Best of Betos. Carrie says she's going to get to work.
All right.
I'll throw one out there. Anyway.
Right, go ahead.
I don't know how many props I had. It was probably like 9. So I could do number 9. Man, it's tough, man. I had those guns out there. That was a heck of a time, man. I always enjoyed trying to find something that week. I wanted to just, shock everybody on the pedal. I tried my best.
Easily the shotgun was the best.
Oh, by far. The shotguns, I mean, it got everybody. Because we didn't know what you were doing, and all of a sudden, pulled it out. What do you got, Romo? I saw your hand go up.
I think an honorable mention could just be that whole weekend that we went down to Zanesville for the Springfield versus Fort Fry game. We had a good amount of our people here at YSN that headed down there for that game, and just so many unexpected things happened. I mean, we've talked about it before, but even before we got to the game, we were in the KFC drive-thru. We had a dirty girl in front of us, 2 cars in front. She was just all over the place. She was mad at everything going on. And then we get to the game, we get set up, and then you have DJ when he chest bumped Coach Guerrero, and our whole setup just went ever. I got a front row seat from the press box to watch that happen down on the field. And
Quinn
then
was so mad.
the game itself, I mean, it was a very close game, way closer than we had initially expected. Fort Fry, they had a game plan. They almost took down Springfield, but Springfield had a goal line stand right at the end of the game to go to state. And then after the game, we had a great time in the hotel just rehashing on everything that happened. And the next morning in the hotel, when Jamie's cereal just flung everywhere, and then the breaking news came to us in that hotel that a pretty well-known athlete in the Cleveland area, a basketball player for the Cavs, had gotten arrested in Youngstown. It was just, that weekend was just all over the place.
We forgot when Steve almost hit the deer, and he was somehow still looking at his phone, and he said deer, and he's still looking at his phone driving. I saw my light flash before my eyes, and somehow
we
Steve
saw it too. Because we watched the deer run in front of you guys, and then just slammed on the brakes.
You almost showed up before that anyway, pulling out of the KFC.
He had to go. Like, we were ready to go, and I said, "Where are you guys?" Oh, we're still in the drive-thru at the KFC.
And then even before that, when Jamie had to go get a new hotel key because he had forgotten something up there.
No, you forgot the hotel room key.
Well, what did we forget in the room?
I think I left. I think our parking pass.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the fun weekend. Then we had the catered food up in the press box. It was just a great night.
It was a great weekend. It's been a great year, guys. I mean, and people, it's been a rough year for a lot of people, but it's been a good year for us in a lot of different ways. I'm so fortunate to have you guys around. And instead of making this a complete kumbaya moment, here's the belated birthday boy, James Bartell, Power Hour, for breaking down the games each week. Well, we're thankful for you, and happy birthday, Ty. You didn't even make that part of your fillet yesterday, which is your dad's birthday.
Wow.
You're muted.
And you're muted. So you didn't get that off either.
I told him happy birthday personally. I know my dad. He's not one that wants to make a big deal about it and joke out about it. So
we'll sing to him next year. That's how it's going to be. But with that said, guys, again, grateful for you. Grateful for the year it's been in 2020 when there's not a lot to be grateful for. But I do have this question for you as we move towards 2021. Oh wait, that's not what I'm looking for. Where's the? I don't know where it went. Let's do our resolutions for 2021. Let's put them out there. Oh, Paul didn't want to do resolutions. I make a resolution to announce basketball games when I'm supposed to.
New Year's same Paul.
Let's go. He's back. Here he comes. Hang on, Paul.
Here we have someone coming in, DJ.
His name's Paul.
No, into the.
Jeff's staring out the window again.
Yeah, no. You needed to the door, so you look behind you and there's someone coming.
All right, Quinn, lead us off with resolutions. What do you got?
I got nothing because I don't obey him anyway. I'll make one to, go exercise or something, and then after a week, I'm just like, nah, not one. I don't do resolutions, honestly.
I'm going to leave it on here until you pick a resolution.
Great content,
Quinn.
I'll make up one. I'll quit drinking Mountain Dew or something, but it ain't going to happen. So,
all right. Ty, what is your resolution for 2021?
Well, I think I'm at 9 or 10 schools visited so far out of our 52 that are up on the wall. So we're going to try to get to half of those at least in this year. My goal is to get to 26 schools visited from YSN schools this upcoming year.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll give you credit for last night. That'll be a check off your list.
Okay.
That you deserve it. EB resolution.
I don't know, man. I'm like Quinn. I really don't make resolutions, but I guess if I have to pick one, Kyla Jameson asked me this today too, and I told her resolution for us was to go to state, so I'll stick with that.
All right. Respect. The Salem Lady Quakers going to state. That's a resolution. Mac, how about you?
So I think resolutions are stupid. All right. And I think they're stupid because it's a new year, you're supposed to be a new person. It's fake. Yeah, it's fake. And Jeff is a complete asshole. So they're just dumb. If I had to pick something because I'm on the show and that's what we're supposed to do is continue to be awesome. That's just about it.
Jeez, oh man. Oh boy. McNuggies.
Yeah, resolutions stink. If you're going to make a resolution or do something different, why would you wait until the calendar changes? Why not start as soon as you think of it? But to answer the question, just to satisfy it, get more organized.
Well, those baseballs look pretty organized behind you. What is there, about 700?
Yep.
Are those the home runs you're giving up when you pitched?
Oh, jeez.
Hey, Jeff, I got a space right there for when I hit a 400-foot bomb off of you.
Oh. It's not going to be hard. I'm going to probably throw like a softball, right? Down the middle of the plate.
I'd be impressed if you could throw a ball down the middle of the plate.
I would be too.
If I'm getting taught by you, that's never going to happen, man.
All right. Romo, take it away. What's your resolution?
I guess my New Year's resolution is to leave earlier when I have to go to places. I've found myself rushing a lot, getting to where I have to be, and I think just leaving earlier and being more prepared.
That's a good one. It's a good resolution. Jamie?
Yeah, that is a good one for Roma, so I'll stop showing up to my house late. But my resolution definitely going to be to calm my anger issues a little bit. This headset has been thrown more times than I can count at this point. I've already chilled out a little bit with the sports. I used to get so mad at every Carolina basketball game when we, turn the ball over 30 times. But video games, they still get to me, so I'm just going to try and chill out a little bit more. Let the rage monster kind of simmer down.
I like
Welcome to the club, Jamie.
Let's go to this guy. What's your resolution there, Kobayashi?
Mine is not to sweat the small stuff. I really worry about the little things, and not the small stuff, but the big stuff. Is let the big stuff go and let the small stuff kind of take over. And that's what would be my New Year's resolution.
I don't even know if that was English.
What are you talking about?
What the hell was that?
People
I had a stroke trying to
things in
understand.
life. Like I have to worry about the small things and let the little things overtake the big things in life. Does that make sense?
No.
Yeah.
I feel like you were almost saying Blink-182 for a hot second, but
What did you say? Everyone was talking.
small things. So here's the trick.
Yeah, okay, you know what?
Petty
You know
things and don't cut
You
the
know what
foot.
it is? You know what it is? Is to hit a 400-foot bomb off of Billy Mack this year when we do our baseball competition. And McNuggets.
What, that will be the show?
Like both of them. That's my New Year's resolution. Screw you guys.
Paul.
Yeah.
We're just going to move right on to the Migraine Palace.
Jeez. Mine would just be to just enjoy every day. With the way all this pandemic's going and people getting sick, and not only with the pandemic, people getting sick, just other things, and everybody's everyday health lives. Just enjoying every day with all those people that you care about. So, just doing that a little bit more.
And also getting lights in your house?
Yeah, well, I got all the curtains shut. I got a TV on. That's it, man.
What you
Oh,
watching?
man.
Paul?
No, we don't want to know what he's watching.
The Ball State game.
We don't want to know.
Cool, college football, man.
My resolution is to dig deeper for all of you guys, for everybody on this panel, for everybody that walks through the doors here at YSN, for anybody that uses and utilizes YSN. It's to dig deeper. 2020 was a good year for us. It's a launch pad for us. It was a diving board to success. And 2021 is going to be bigger and better than ever before. And I promise you, as we stand here on December 31st, 2020, that December 31st, 2021, you guys are going to be more proud, more excited for YSN than ever before. We got a lot of things coming, winging it. We're going to do wing reviews, talking to Q and talking to Betos yesterday. What sounds like it could be really crazy, gas station food reviews and bathroom reviews with Betos. We're thinking outside the box, but we're doing it for you. A lot more with our content here at YSN. We're going to dig, again, deeper. We're going to jump higher, bigger, faster, stronger in 2021, and that's all because you made us what we are today. I can't thank you enough, you guys especially. The Power Hour is my favorite hour of the day, 3 to 4, to spend it with you guys, my true family. And again, like, you make every day worth jumping out of bed for, because I want to do the best I can for you guys. So my goal, you know what my goal is. My resolution will always be you guys get to work at YSN and do sports for the rest of your life and not have to worry about the rigors of the daily grind out there doing what other people have to do. And we put on a better show and we entertain and inform better than anybody else. And that's my promise to you. I can't promise it for 2021, but I promise we'll be closer than we are right now. So that is my resolution to all of you guys from me, DJ Yoakley. So not that means anything, but I appreciate all you guys do for us, not only on a weekly basis, but on a daily basis, starting with Paul and working all the way through the roster here. So that's going to do it. Happy New Year's to everybody here. From all of us at YSN, we hope you have a very safe New Year. Whatever you're doing, be safe with it, whether it's social distancing, wearing a mask. Because what, Betos, what do you have to say about masks?
Mask up, save lives.
Mask up, save lives. If you are out and you are drinking, make sure you call somebody to pick you up, or leave the keys.
Put those masks on if you're not drinking, okay?
Shut up, Jeff. We're over masks already.
And Uber, by the way. Uber and Lyft. Go to
and make sure you check out the Betos karaoke on my personal Facebook page. Guys, thank you so much. We'll see you on Monday right here on the YSN Power Hour.